Is Anthony Santander set to turn things around? And what's the latest on Max Scherzer? Hey, everyone. Welcome into Long Ball. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun Blue Jays writer Rob Longley. And Rob, Anthony Santander has always been known as a slow starter, and that seems to be the case once again this year after signing that massive offseason contract with the Toronto Blue Jays, a 574 OPS in April, and here so far in May, a 637 OPS. He is coming off a game where he did hit a home run against the San Diego Padres. But clearly, Rob, this is not what the Blue Jays were hoping for, at least so far, from Anthony Santander. What have you made of his season today?
Yeah, I think that's fair, Rob. And, Baseball Reference and StatCast and all those websites, they don't give us the parameters of what constitutes a slow starter. But I'm pretty darn sure that once you reach 45 games in the season, that it should be expired. And I would argue that half of that. So, yeah, he's a notorious slow starter, which is fine, I suppose. But the way that he got to this point before he hit that home run here on Tuesday night was I think quite concerning for the Blue Jays. There were times there that and you could still, I think it's still the case. You've got to do more than one home run to sort of confirm that you're back. But there's been times where he's looked very lost at the plate. His swing has been off. He hasn't been making a lot of great contact. Obviously, he hasn't been hitting for average. That's something that he's not really done greatly throughout his career. But the fact that he looked so lost and discouraged, I think, it may be the biggest issue here. And I think he was wearing it. He had those two minor injuries, something with his shoulder and something with his hip. But manager John Schneider also gave him a day off as a bit of a mental break to sort of reset and try to figure things out a little bit. Now, his reaction after hitting that home run on Tuesday, which is his sixth of the season, and ties him for the team lead somehow with Dalton Varsho and Vlad Guerrero Jr., which is another story, of course. His reaction after that home run and the reaction of his teammates maybe was the most encouraging thing about it. For Santander, you could see it as he rounded the bases. He was very relieved. For his teammates, the jubilation as he approached the dugout was kind of over the top for a mid-game home run with still plenty left to play in that game. So, maybe that'll be a spark. Maybe his confidence will soon start to creep back. But they definitely need him to produce at a much better level than he has so far. Not just for the expense, but for the lack of really impactful bats in that lineup.
Yeah, and I guess luckily for him, the rest of the offense has really started to come around here in May, so it's kind of hit him a little bit. But at some point, he's going to have to start swinging the bats, and when he does, that will be a big boost to this Blue Jays offense. On the pitching side of things, it's been up and down this month, Rob, whether it's the starting rotation or some members of the bullpen. One guy we still haven't seen since the first week of the season, Max Scherzer, March 29th. His only appearance as a Blue Jay when he went 3 innings. Of course, he's been dealing with that thumb issue. I think his back flared up on him recently as well. As a man in my late 30s, I can definitely relate with some of those issues. But what is the latest on Max Scherzer?
Well, Mad Max doesn't even know what the situation is, and I think that's all that suggests is that at best he's still weeks away from returning. Now he's been back throwing off a mound again. He did so on Tuesday at the Rogers Center. Plans to do so again Thursday and Saturday, and he's sort of pitching. He's throwing like 33, 34 pitches a day. Assuming the thumb holds up through that, then he'll face live hitters at some point. And assuming the thumb holds up after that, then it'll be a rehab assignment. And given all that time that he's missed, it'll be 2 full months by then. He's going to need a fairly lengthy rehab stint. I would think 2 to 3 starts minimum. So best case scenario, sounds to me that it's at best a month away, which, I suppose it's encouraging because when you think about, and you alluded to it, Rob, when you think about the struggles of this rotation, which is they're essentially down to a 4-man group now, and Bowden Francis that has been, the bottom guy in there has been struggling fairly consistently throughout the season thus far. They really need Max Scherzer back at some point. The Jays and Max are both doing whatever they can to do it properly to make sure the thumb is healing, and it appears to be the case right now. But as Scherzer has told us in the past, the big issue seems to come when he reaches 50 pitches. So he's up to 33 now and feeling pain free, and he's certainly positive about that. But he knows he's felt it before. When he's reached that 50 pitch mark, that's when trouble comes. So that'll be the big threshold for him. And should he pass that, should he be able to throw 50 pitches, whether it's just in a bullpen session or whether it's facing live hitters, I think that's when the Jays can move to the next step and get maybe a little bit more aggressive with it, and then consider and map out a rehab schedule, probably in AAA, to get him back up sometime before the trade deadline. Obviously, the sooner the better.
Well, the two big offseason signings for the Blue Jays, off to some difficult starts to begin this season, but as we've talked about before, still lots of runway left for these guys to turn things around and be impactful players. We'll see how it plays out. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Rob Longley, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.